Okay, Monday, December 13, 2010, and here I am in Great Brickhill, which is Bucks, walking the 8.5–9 miles to Leighton Buzzard. In fact, Great Brickhill might be Beds, and I'm walking back to Leighton Buzzard, which is in Bucks, one way or the other. This is book 1, walk 41. It's a bit of a grey day, but there is some promise there. It's not particularly cold today, despite what the weathermen forecast. It's spring-like actually. There's quite a lot of birds singing amongst the traffic behind me. So let's get cracking. Would just add before I leave that this is one of those split stations. You only get one diesel car unit up here as well. Hourly service twixt Bletchley and Bedford. Right, 5 minutes in, it's now 11:15, having disembarked from the 11:01 train. And here's a breed of sheep I'm not familiar with. Almost look genetically modified. Strange shape. Very squat, fat faces. Bizarre. Must look in my book and find out what they are. Anyway, as I say, 5 minutes in, having just crossed the stile, now walking along the grassy path towards the next stile, I believe. For a minute there I thought that sheep was dead. That would be the second week running where I've found a dead sheep. Well, last week I found the head, and here's the body. But if you look carefully, the legs are moving. Don't know what he's doing, scratching his back I suppose. Strange. So here we are, having just come through the kissing gate mentioned in point 5 of the text. View of the landscape. As I said earlier, plenty of bird song today. Interesting. I guess that must be backwood up there on the hill. Looking across to Bletchley on my right hand side. From a point at 7 in the text. Walking's not too bad actually, it's not too muddy here, bearing in mind that it is quite damp. You can hear the hum of traffic along the M1 in the background, all rushing past Milton Keynes. A windmill somewhere over there in the distance. The avenue off to the left that you should ignore. Lovely mixed woodlands here. Beech, conifer, and hopefully I'll get to see in a moment the redwoods that this wood is famous for. Anyway, that's our onward journey, up that way. Ignore that footpath there, up on the left. The footpath sign's actually fallen over. So although there is a yellow marker there, it's actually being approached from the direction that I've just come, that way, as opposed to the way I should be going. Which is that way, headed towards the sunlight. Fantastic. Walking down the potentially muddy stretch mentioned in point 9. It's not too bad because of the leaf cover, which is predominantly oak leaves, interestingly. Pheasant in the background. Looks like there could be bluebells here in the spring. Well, there's a warning and a half. I'm glad I'm turning left, as indicated by that yellow arrow on the post. That's turned into a very pleasant morning now. Yeah. Anyway, as I say, turn left, up that way, due east. The ponds on your right, mentioned in point 12 of the text, currently partially frozen over, though as I say, it's not really freezing today. Pleasant little woodland waterfall there. Ducks enjoying a bit of skating. Or swimming if preferred. Some of the sequoia or redwood trees now becoming visible on the right hand side, mentioned at point 13 in the text. Underfoot has been pretty slippery during the last couple of 100 yards, as described in the text. Some potential for confusion here at point 13 in the text, because industrial vehicles have obviously churned up the ground here and made it a lot wider than it probably was when the text was written. But there's a signpost there indicating the left, that you don't go up. There's the small stream that you're going to cross on this footpath here, or bridleway now, and there's another sign over there indicating our direction. Some of the redwoods, which indeed do have a soft and furry bark, but only reach a fraction of the height that they reach in California. Just starting to hit the green sand here at point 14 in the text, just prior to the clearing up ahead there. Just prior to hitting the gate mentioned in part 15 of the text. Just add that the section I've just come up in part 14 was extremely muddy, mainly thanks to the forest vehicles. Now just about to do a bit of road walking. The view ahead mentioned at point 16 in the text. Just about to leave the wood mentioned in point 16. And as you can now see, a very pleasant day. Busy A5 in the background, which we're going to have to cross or go under at some point. Right, I'm now on the 6 metre gap in the hedge field boundary, and on a day like today it is not a good idea to take this shortcut which I think people have made across the field. Too muddy. Far better to stick with the hedgerow, follow that round. However, looks like similar problem here, so I'll try and follow the hedgerow round to the A5. Nope, that section by the hedge over there couldn't get by, so I've had to follow the actual marked path there, which is very muddy. Right, here's the part hidden style. And as you can hear, now very close to the A5, which unfortunately has got to be crossed. There's the interesting milestone on the other side of the A5, indicating 42 mile to London. Okay, there's the hedge arch over the wooden gate. There isn't any marker at that gate entrance showing that this is the actual footpath, so a little bit confusing, but you come through that gate there next to the lodge and the yapping dog, and then obviously there's a marker here, and we continue on down here through Duncombe Wood. The kissing gate where you leave the Duncombe Wood to join an earth road mentioned in point 22. It's just as well someone's knocked the slats out of that fence there, because you can't get through that kissing gate with a rucksack on your back, even a day sack. It's a problem with some of these kissing gates I've noticed over the years. Anyway, it's now 12:50. Coming up lunchtime, and not far from the lunchtime pub stop, which as usual I won't be frequenting, but hope to get a shot of it. Horses fashion parade over there, all with their different coloured jackets on. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there's a buzzard over there somewhere. Just saw it take off over those trees. Steaming manure. Just on the outskirts of the farm, on the edge of Great Brickhill. There's the suggested lunchtime stop, the Old Red Lion. In the distance, an old shelter of some kind, but unfortunately no bench for me to sit on. And as described in the text, the rear garden of that pub has a fantastic view, some of which is there, over the Ousel River, I believe it is. Can't really go in there though, not without buying a drink. Go and see what the information board tells us. Although not mentioned on this information board, I read somewhere that Great Brickhill is was the centre of the coprolite industry, which is something to do with superphosphates and farming. But basically this information board tells us about the Church of St Mary the Virgin, Parish Hall, other things, including where I'm stood at the moment, the 3 trees, oaks planted to replace Dutch elm victims in 77, Jubilee year. Anyway, I think I'll try and have my lunch over there, see if I can sit on that big rock, sandstone.